Okay, so many ways, in many ways, could be seen as difficult times that mankind is living in today. When you put on television, when you open newspaper, when you switch on any kind of form of information, media, whatever, can appear that mankind is in difficult times. And we recognize this because you see there is always different ways of perceiving. And when things are perceived to be dark, heart can feel dark, mind can feel dark. This lets the energy of darkness pervade. And once one is residing in the energy of darkness, then darker times can come. And one of the things that we hope to achieve through these messages that we are bringing is to achieve a semblance of belief that things do not have to be as they appear. Because mankind has senses open to him that currently not all are using. So with your eyes and with your ears, you see, it could look like man is in difficult times. When you switch on TV and see pictures, graphic pictures of darkness of all kinds, you see this has direct hit into the energy of person watching. Therefore, what can happen is you see the darkness of the picture becomes the darkness of the heart, becomes the darkness of the mind, becomes the darkness of the being. This then gets carried around with that person into their life, to be emitted from that person into their own life, as a darkness into their own life. What they then witness is their own personal life becoming deeper entrenched into darkness. Darkness comes back at them. So what we would prefer to do, if possible, is to encourage people to perceive the difficult times that they look like at the moment to mankind in a new way, with a new perspective. Okay, so what is occurring is a monumental sifting, if you wish to call it this, of old era energy out of the sieve to be left behind. What will be is all the burgeoning hope of the new era. So therefore, what we have is a shake-up, an uprooting of old era energy, concerns, issues, situations, problems, dilemmas, considerations even, that have to be resolved. You see, new era energy will not tolerate the same level of tolerance that has been for some time now with old era energy. It cannot be. There is no match. There is no harmony. It cannot find itself within the new era because there has to be resonance with all things. As your planet moves forward in terms of vibration, so that which has been allowed to exist with the old era energy can no longer exist. It simply has to change or wither away. So, in so many different ways, and we will address these in upcoming messages over time, but in so many different ways, what you are seeing is the upheaval of this old era energy starting to feel the disharmonization with the new era energy as it's beginning to move forwards. Because as the planet energy vibrations shift and change, as the people, as we have said, with the children that are coming, bringing new higher vibrations all the time, the vibrations of planet Earth are moving on. As this occurs, so many things that have been allowed to exist, unchecked, unresolved for some time now, cannot be allowed to continue into this new vibrational planet because they will not be able to exist. They just will not be able to exist. And it's happening now. It's happening right now before your very eyes. So you are seeing the shift. You are seeing the paving of the new way. But of course, it can seem that all we are doing is leading into deeper and darker misfortune. But nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing could be further from the truth. All around you, you see, old energy is being forced. Yes, sometimes unwillingly. Yes, sometimes unwillingly. Being forced to give way to the new era vibration. And it's occurring in many different spheres all over the world. So when you look to a variety of what can seem to be dark times, financially, war, health, the list can go on and will go on. You see, actually what is occurring is the inability of the old vibration to exist in the current vibration. It's already changing, you see. It's already changing to the point that the old era vibration cannot be a part of this current existence, let alone where you're headed to, which will be a vast change from where you are already currently. But what you can witness through the TV are the frontal images of shock and despair. But actually, one needs to look over the top of those frontal images to the vibrational change that is occurring that are allowing those frontal images to come to the fore. When something is accepted, when something is tolerated, when something is even, may we say, expected from life, it is not brought to the attention in the way that things are being brought to the attention today. So therefore, things existed in the old era energy, but they were so fundamentally acceptable to many who lived on planet Earth. They were not even worthy of attention. They did not even come out. They were allowed to exist in their own right, unobserved, unchecked, unresolved. But this energy will not be allowed to continue into the new era. So therefore, they are being dragged out, if you like, into the light, so that they have to be observed in the first instance. Because when things are observed, they can be changed with the new era energy that observes them. And they will be. But when things are not even observed, when things do not even become a feature of importance enough to be observed, they exist and they exist and they exist and they exist, and the energy mud is the other energies of the planet, and you all coexist in this muddy energy. That's not happening anymore. That's not happening anymore. Everything is being shifted up into the light in order to be observed in the first instance. With observation can come change. Awareness has to be first. But it can be tempting if you are an older era energy observing said features on the TV, in the media, in your own existence even. The temptation can be that you start to believe that this is the way ahead. This is becoming worse, if you will. This is now becoming the normal. Actually, The reverse is the truth. The reverse is the truth. It was the normal. It was what was, allowed to be, acceptable, ignored, and totally normal. But it is not anymore. It no longer will survive in the new era that's coming. So in this period of time that you exist in, as you transition forwards into a deeper and deeper, brighter and brighter new energy, you will find that more and more and more of these situations arise to be observed and therefore to be resolved. Because resolution is coming for so many different things. So many things that have marred mankind's existence for so long are coming to be resolved in the coming era. So when you witness what seems to be a worsening of times, a worsening of times for mankind, we urge everybody who is able to change their perspective from one of despair to one of hope. It's a big shift, but it is completely doable when one only remembers one fact, and that is that the new era energy is what is creating these old era energy features to be brought out into the open. As they are brought out into the open, they can be resolved. When they are buried and accepted and so part of the normal functioning of planet Earth, they were never resolved. They didn't have to be resolved because the Earth and the planet and the people accepted them as a vibrational equal. They are no longer equal. So as you move on even more into the new era energy, these occurrences that are coming up into the light to be observed can then be resolved. And this is the biggest hope that we wish you to hold on to. When you witness something that seems to be abhorrent, seems to be despair, seems to be darkness in the extreme, simply hold on to the thought that this existed already and was tolerated as part of the norm. It's only being brought into the awareness of mankind now because it is no longer going to be accepted and the norm. The vibrational disharmony is already there, or it wouldn't be rising to the surface. It's rising to the surface to be resolved, and that is all. Hold on to that thought because it is the thought that will carry you through. It will pave the way to brighter times, because we were not here to say that there is not darkness in your world. There is darkness in your world, but perceive it, please, from a higher place that says the darkness is giving way to the ever-increasing light. And as the light begins to shine, there is no room for the darkness to survive. So all that darkness that is coming up to the surface is to be observed and resolved, to be removed from the vibrational norm that exists on planet Earth. This is the way ahead for the planet as the planet progresses forward, ever-increasing vibrations of joy and light and laughter and hope, higher, 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 faster, faster, faster into the new era. You will find that these lower vibrations that have existed now for so long just disappear. But in this time that you exist currently today, they seem to be becoming worse and worse and worse, but they are not. They are there already, and they are just coming to the surface to be resolved. Resolution allows for brightness to follow. So mankind must take the responsibility of staying fast during these times with a hopeful heart and a hopeful mind, that actually you are not just disappearing down a tunnel into ever-increasing darkness, but far from it. You are coming up out of the ashes into the new light, into the new world, the new era. And this is merely a temporary phase of passing through where things have to be brought to the surface in order to be resolved. So hold on to that thought, hold on to those feelings, most importantly, most importantly, hold on to the feelings, because it's the feelings of hope, the feelings of joy, the feelings of light that will carry mankind faster forwards into the new era and allow for these periods, these times of resolution to be swift, to be easy, to be short-lived. If you get focused on the frontal image and allow that to seep into you, you yourself will then be a carrier of darkness into your own world, into your own experience. As you emit those experiences of darkness from your heart, they will come back and meet you. And you yourself will then find that you are feeling increasingly dark. Your energies will shift and you will say, well, here we go. But it does not have to be, and it really should not be. If you observe the frontal images with a view of saying, but the vibration that exists behind these frontal images is one of such magnificence. It's bringing these images out into the open so that we can resolve them right here, right now, because they have no part of where we're headed. They are so far removed from where they're headed, they can no longer be buried, and they have to be brought to the surface. This is the message that we wish to impart above and beyond as we examine all areas of things that will come. This is the overriding umbrella message. Look with hope in your heart and hope in your mind. Then you yourself and the world at large can pass through swiftly and easily into the new era. Much love. Much love.